Well, this doesn't look like it's going to be a fun event. Deathbed. Deafening silence fills your home. You are standing by Mother's bedside. So are Father, Gloria, and Nathan. For an entire day, Mother has been feverish, barely conscious. Gloria never leaves her side, not even for a minute. Nathan has even stopped drinking so he can offer your sister his awkward help. Mother's health deteriorated greatly over the past year, and the fighting in the family home has dealt a great blow to her. She has been bedridden for a month. You have been to every doctor and folk healer, but no one can help her. They all tell you the same thing. Lady Lydia's life is in the hands of the twins now. If she passes away, she will not come back. And so you wait by Mother's bed, in sorrow, hoping that she will regain consciousness. There's a long silence that no one has the courage to break. Then at last you hear Nathan's meek voice. Mother, it's my Nathan. Can you hear me? Mother suddenly rises on her elbows. She looks around, her eyes unseeing, beads of sweat forming on her pale forehead. Hi, son. Where are you? Nathan takes Mother by her thin, emaciated hand. She leans closer to look at him, struggling to recognize his face. 7. Were you playing with your younger brothers in the garden? It must be all dirty. Come here. You may not be my son, but I care for you as though you were my own. Oh, what a nice, happy family we have. A blessing from the twins. Nathan is unsure what to do or say. Father strokes his wife's hair. His eyes are two orbs of searing, indescribable pain. You're a little confused, Lydia. This is Nathan, and the children are all grown up now. Remember? Mother's eyes were bright and alive just now, but the next moment they grow dim again. Her head falls weakly back onto the pillow. You're right, my husband. The children grew up, but I was never able to teach them how to live in peace with each other. I let you down, Roberts. You made a mistake when you took me into your home. You saved my daughter and me from a life of poverty. But how did I repay you? Gloria cannot take it anymore. What are you saying, Mother? Don't you dare blame yourself. You did your best. You did all you could. Father looks away, unable to hold back the deluge of tears. Mother's voice, so faint now, calls out to you. And Brian, where is he? With great care, you move closer to Mother. You answer her quietly. You're here, right by her side. Brian, I am so happy to know you're here. I always knew greatness awaited you, ever since you were a little boy. What a shame I won't be there to see it. Couldn't save the Brante family. I will face my punishment at the final judgment. But don't worry, my dears. I'm ready to stand before the twins. Lydia Brante's voice trails off. No longer a voice, just a final whisper of life. Will you accept your mother's death? Or will you find a way to fight for her life? This is not the sort of event where you want to see Zero unlocks. We cannot unite the family, because our unity is less than 7, and we've got plots and betrothals and stuff going on. We cannot share our strength with Mother because, again, unity is not high enough. We are forced to accept this loss. Your heart aches and grows numb as you realize the inevitable. There's nothing you can do to help your dying mother. There's nothing that would give her strength. Your family has grown weak from all the spite and strife that has filled your home. Even now, at Mother's deathbed, you can feel the enmity, disappointment, and anger driving your family apart. Children, accept this humbly. Her voice trails off. Her eyes grow dull. Her cold hands release yours, fall into the bed, and grow still. The last emotion on Mother's face is a sadness born of exhaustion. A scream of despair rips itself out of Gloria's throat. We did this to her! We fought so much that we killed her! Me, Stefan, Brian! Nathan yelps with grief. He runs away howling. Father slowly sits and takes his late wife's hand in his. His tears flow no more. His eyes stare far into the distance, empty and bleak. Lydia. You mourn her together, but alone. You leave the house to roam the garden, empty and numb. Mother has left this world for the peak of the pillar to face the twins' judgment. She spent all her life preparing for this journey, but now her mortal life has ended. She's no longer here. Never again will she gather her family at the table. Never again will she offer a word of solace in trying times. Never again will she greet you with her quiet, humble smile. You bury your face in your hands. Lydia Brante, your mother, has left this world. Yeah, it's just bad news all around. Mother's demise. Your mother lost her fight to the severe illness. She will never return from the hereafter. Transformation. It has been a long time since your last encounter with Octavia Melanides. You have come to expect to run into her from time to time in the most unusual of circumstances, but Octavia has all but disappeared, vanished completely from Imperial High Society. Then one night, you come home to find a letter bearing the heraldic serpents of the Melanides dynasty. The handwriting is not Octavia's. This letter was penned by the Archduke himself. We, Duke Tarquinius, of the great Melanides dynasty, salute you, Judge Brian Brante. We have been made aware of your relationship with our daughter Octavia, but we shall leave the particulars of this relationship for another time. Lady Octavia has disappeared. It has been 1 month since she was last seen in any of our holdings within the city of Anazote. We, Archduke Melanides, expect you, Brante, to aid us in finding our lost daughter. Tread carefully lest you attract unwanted attention to this matter. The reputation of the Melanides dynasty is at stake. Do not fail us, Judge Brante. The Archduke's expectation represents a direct order to find her as soon as possible. To refuse him would spell certain and immeasurable disaster. You begin looking for Octavia immediately. The building where the circle of Latterie used to gather was abandoned long ago. You have no hope of finding any of Octavia's followers there. You decide to search the prefecture archives. You spend an entire morning going through each and every case and report concerned with ancient races and rituals of old, even indirectly. After a long search, you finally stumble upon a familiar name, Alexis L. Lance, a noble from an influential bloodline. You impersonated him when you infiltrated the circle of Latterie 2 years ago. The archives say that L. Lance was reported multiple times to be searching for another faith, and claimed he was seeking to understand the design of the twins in his own way. You chuckle upon seeing this. The original L. Lance was one of the first humans ennobled by the Char Melanides himself. The proud name of his forefather is the only thing that has saved the willful Alexis from the Inquisition's pyres. Regardless, he is your only clue to Octavia's whereabouts. You head for the L. Lance mansion at once. You tell the servants at the door that you have an urgent matter to discuss with their master. A tall, gaunt nobleman with a thick beard walks down the stairs to greet you, studying you intensely during the introduction. His eyes seem to be locked in a perpetual state of pain, but it is different from the ever-familiar pain and suffering of the common lots. You inform L. Lance sternly that you are aware of his involvement in the circle of Latterie, and hint that his noble origins may not save him from an inquisitorial visit this time. You're looking for Octavia Melanides. Where is she? The eccentric nobleman lets out a rueful chuckle. He is not one to hide the truth. The circle of Lattery is here, within these walls, Elance tells you. But Lady Melanidas is currently conducting a ritual of the utmost importance. No one may interfere. This rite will return the Lattery to this world. Or rather, it will return the world to the eternal fold of the Lattery. You resolutely walk past Elance and his intellectualizing, and march up the stairs. The servants rush to stop you, but one stern glance is enough to remind them of their lot. Upstairs you hear the familiar droning chant. You fling open the massive gilded double doors leading to the sitting room. The silhouettes in gilded masks and flowing garb are here, undulating in their dance, and producing all manner of strange sounds. In the center of their dancing circle is Octavia Melanidas, lying prostrate on the floor. Octavia is dying. A sea of blood has already been drained from her slashed wrists, but she's still alive. You break through the circle of the Lattery followers and rush to Octavia's side. The Archnean opens her dark eyes to look at you, the world reflected in them growing faint and dim. She wheezes a true death rattle. Octavia's body melts away in your arms. Long fingers rest on your shoulder. They belong to Alexis Elance. Lady Octavia will not be reborn, he tells you. She has left her body and soul alike. She has become Lattery. Without a word, the members of the circle slowly part and spread out around the large room. The deed is done, says Elance. Sending one of our number to commune with the Lattery is the most we could have hoped for. Before you can compose yourself, the creature that was once Octavia flows into the room. Everyone falls silent, watching in wonder and awe. You can still recognize Octavia's features in this creature. It seems to float in the air, its body thinner, its skin now gilded and reflective in the candlelight, its eyes larger and bizarrely elongated. Octavia's followers cover the creature's delicate shoulders with a cloak and stand reverently before it. The creature that was once an Archnean approaches you, slowly, without touching the ground at all. Its voice drones, remote and distant, like an echo from a faraway realm. You have borne witness to a rebirth. The one you call Octavia Melanidas is no more. The mind of the Lattery now resides within this body. The one called Octavia has cast off the shackles of your narrow world. She has awakened now, free of blood-tide, birth, and other such burdens. She sees the world as it exists in the mind of the Lattery. The only true world, for all other worlds exist within it. Neither you or any other denizen of your illusory world can return the one called Octavia to her cage. You must leave, human, Brian Brante. The one you seek is no more. That's so. Octavia, why did your whole thing have to end up being like a death cult? That's... First my mother... Well, I'm realistically... First my best friend dies. Then my mother. Now I've lost my lover. It's not been a great last couple years. Well, alright, well what can we do here? We can demand that Octavia be returned to her family. Gain some reputation. Apparently we would have betrayed Octavia, but the Archduke would appreciate it and Octavia would not. But I guess if it works, we would bring her back, at least, so that counts for something. We can let the Lattery go, which would reduce my reputation. Yeah, that's probably not great. Or we can accept our beloved's transformation. Reduce the reputation. It's a lot of willpower to do that. And Octavia Melanidas' spiritual bond? Okay. Unfortunately, we can't open ourselves to the truth because we never participated in the ritual. You will. Oh, this would gain willpower. Man. Octavia. Look, you know I love you. And I support you. But this is a bridge too far. Like, I still don't quite understand exactly what's going on here. But I know I don't particularly like it and think it's ill-advised. So please, Octavia, please, My love, come back to me. You produce the Archduke's letter and extend it to the creature that was once Octavia. You must return to Serpent Verda at once, you say. The Archduke demands it. The creature takes a brief look at the letter, and for a moment, its face contorts into Octavia's familiar, furious scowl. You do not understand. The Lattery are not a part of the one called Octavia's illusionary world. The Lattery cannot for this world. We contain within us all the peoples and all the worlds that may be. Unhand us, human Brante. So you the Borg, then? But you do not let go. And then Octavia turns her head and looks at you. The creature's eyes are nothing but emptiness, darkness. It swallows you in an instant. For an unknown time you cease to exist. No family, no calling, no people, no things. Never born, never died, never lived. You ought to be terrified, you realize, but the man who ought to be terrified has ceased to exist just the same. How long it lasts you cannot tell. You regain consciousness in your bed back home. The servants say a strange, gaunt, bearded man brought your unconscious body home in his carriage last night. He said something odd when he handed you over. He faced the truth and failed to accept it. Those were his words. As soon as you recover from this experience, you head to Castle Serpent Verda. The Archduke will not tolerate any delays when it comes to his daughter's fate. The guards escort you to the ancient throne room, the same room where Octavia once met you herself. On the throne sits the Archduke, sullen and dour. His face resembles that of a bird of prey. His lips are tightly pressed. His body is hunched and tense. You kneel before the reigning lord of the province. I have no time for formalities, Brante. Tell me, what happened to Octavia? You remain kneeling, your eyes cast down. You tell me about everything that happened in the Circle of Lattery, and explain the mysteries and rebirth of Octavia Melanides. You describe how you attempted to stop the ritual and return Octavia to her family, estates, but the creature that was once her told you that Octavia was no more. Archduke Melanides listens, showing no emotion, but his hand clutches at his scepter harder and harder with every word. Does he even believe what you are saying? After you finish, he remains silent for a long while, thinking. Finally, he speaks. Would that you had lied to me, Brante. But you have told me no lies. I know what my daughter is capable of. What happens now is none of your concern. You will forget any ties you had to Octavia as well as my orders. Forever. I intend to repay my debt to your family. The nobility of the province will know about my gratitude to you. But tread lightly, Sir Brante, for my favor does not last forever. Farewell. The high road takes you back to Anazote, empty in the dark night. You cannot help but think of Octavia, or of the creature she has become. The creature that called itself Lattery has disappeared without a trace. The Archduke's men scour the entire city but cannot find her. Will you ever see her fragile, ethereal silhouette again? Okay, well, apparently I've betrayed her. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. Octavia's transformation. Archduke's daughter had transformed into a mysterious creature, neither Arcanian nor human in nature. The Gilded Cage. This event is a consequence of your previous actions, specifically that Gloria has been betrothed. Stefan's efforts are about to bear fruit. The Gilded Cage. Stefan's efforts are about to bear fruit. All the arrangements have been taken care of. All the negotiations are done. Gloria shall marry Sir Jose L. Pelletier. It was no easy task to arrange this match between a nobleman and a commoner whose father has rejected her. Every single member of L. Pelletier's family did their best to change the young nobleman's mind, but he refused to relent. Stefan did his best too. He spent an eternity convincing the groom's family that Gloria has received an excellent education and will make Sir Jose a fine wife. And so, the wedding day has come. The family prepares Gloria for the long journey. The wedding ceremony will be held at a church next to the El Pelletier estate. As tradition demands, no one else is allowed to attend the wedding. Gloria is completely silent today. She meekly allows the servants to change her into the coarse, humble garments her lot demands. she wear before the twins, all without saying a word.
Gloria, say something, I beg of you. This marriage is the best thing the Brante family can do for you. You're about to join a noble bloodline.
Gloria stares back at Sir Robert, her mother's husband who never became her father. There's a bitter sorrow in her gaze. I think it's more likely I'll be added to their family's opulent collection as another exhibit. But still, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, Sir Robert. You've destroyed the last of my illusions. My fate rests in the hands of my noble masters, and it always will. Father responds with a heavy sigh, at a loss for words. You prefer not to intervene. Gloria would rather not speak to you anyway. Just outside the door, you hear the neighing of horses and Stefan's excited voice. Gloria! Your groom has arrived. The man who enters Gloria's chambers behind Stefan is Gloria's betrothed, Jose L. Pelletier himself. His dignified bearing and the thin features of his wistful face betray his noble origins. An elegant earring glints in his ear, a concession to modern high fashion. El Pelletier greets the bride's family with a gallant bow and gently kisses the hem of Gloria's dress. The young noble of the sword takes great pains to remain composed, but standing so close to his future wife, he cannot help but let his emotions show. Good sirs, I fell in love with Gloria the moment I laid eyes on her at that fateful party so long ago. If I may, I give you my word that you are giving her to a respected and prosperous home. And from what Sir Stefan has told me, your family's standing will only benefit if Gloria becomes a member of another family. After all, I am a born nobleman with a hereditary title. No scandalous rumors or gossip regarding my wife's origins can ever harm me. And any man who dares speak a word of slander against Gloria shall face a duel to the death. Well said indeed. A most wonderful outcome for everyone involved. Gloria will want for nothing. I will keep her safe from all the world's troubles, free to write poetry, indulge in entertainment, and serve her husband. The enamored nobleman gazes at Gloria with a tender expression. She hides her eyes behind her unkempt hair. There is a hopeless look about her. Gloria, my love, it is time. Our journey calls. The temple is ready for the ceremony. Very soon we shall announce the sacred intertwining of our destinies to the twins themselves. And then, your new home and new life await. I will do as you say, Sir El Pelletier. But please allow me to say my goodbyes to the gentlemen who have given me food and shelter. To father she gives a deep bow full of reverence. The family patriarch remains silent, but tears run down his face. Then your sister embraces Nathan, who came home gloomy and worse for wear, even today. Oh, I'm sorry. I drank all night. I couldn't stop. I just can't accept that you won't be at home anymore. She ruffles her younger brother's hair and whispers something in his ear. His face brightens, if only a little. And then she bows to Stefan, a bow so impeccable it can only be interpreted as mockery. She walks past you scornfully, refusing to recognize your presence with even the slightest gesture. Gloria, you wound me. After all these years, after all we've been through, I'm getting more like Stefan was treated better than me. Stefan, you're like arch nemesis. Man, where did I go wrong with this relationship? Farewell, Brian. I must admit, you did a fine job getting me out of the way. I hope it was worth it. You remain silent. El Pelletier takes Gloria to his carriage. The driver flicks his whip, and the horses take the bride and groom outside the city and to the church to face the twins and the austere ritual that awaits them. Once wed, they will head straight for the groom's estate. Gloria has left the Brante home for good. With an expression of great relief, Stefan closes the door. He sits in an armchair by the window, his hand cradling a glass of wine. At last! We've done it! A great deed, my brother. We've arranged for the best possible life for Gloria and removed the last obstacle standing between us and nobility of the sword. Now there's nothing preventing me from putting our family's affairs in order. This is my duty as heir. And most importantly, we need to put all ties to Gloria behind us. She's gone from the Brante home for good. Thank the twins and their mercy. What say you, Brian? You won't stand in my way, will you? Surely you won't deny that our family's affairs are my responsibility. Huh. Interesting. So we can sever all ties with Gloria. Gain some reputation, lose some unity. Unity's kind of bad right now. Because, like, here's the thing. If we look at Destiny, and just to be frank, I kind of feel like getting ennobled by the sword is, at this point, a bit of a stretch to think will happen. I mean, it's not inconceivable, but certainly not likely. But, like... Anyways, what was the point I was making? Yes. You'll note we need at least 3 unity, and we actually currently don't have unity, so... Probably isn't good to drive that even further into the ground. We can maintain family ties with Gloria, get some eloquence, lose some reputation, get some unity. Okay. Stefan wouldn't appreciate it, but, yeah, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Or we can challenge Stefan to a duel. I guess this would be, I'm not sure exactly what this is for, but, yeah, probably, maybe for the heirship of the family. Yeah, honestly, I think I worked with Stefan to make this happen. I don't think I want to challenge Stefan to a duel. Like, we're brothers, we clash sometimes, we disagree, but we're not enemies. I don't particularly envy his position as the heir of the family. Like, that's not something I have personally strived for myself. At the same time, though, I don't think we want to sever all ties with Gloria. You know, she's my sister. And, you know, I think, even if it brings her reputation down a bit, I don't want to completely exile her from my life, even if she's, you know, off married and living her life over wherever she lives now. So I think we just maintain some ties. Slowly you rise from your seat and shake your head at Stefan's words. Your older brother glares at you in confusion. You assail Stefan's confidence with a long, fervent speech. Gloria lived in this home for so many years. She grew up with you and shared your joys and sorrows. She is your mother's daughter. Cutting all ties with her would be cowardly and bring disgrace to your name. Gloria may be a child of a lowly birth, who does not belong to your blood tide, but family ties go beyond mere blood and social standing. How could you even think of erasing her from your memory as though she never existed? Gloria used to be a permanent fixture in this home. That I cannot deny. But that time has passed. It is a blood that unites a family. If there's no blood, there's nothing to talk about. You fold your arms on your chest before offering retort. No. You aided Stefan and got Gloria to agree to the wedding. You also had a say in your sister's future, and now you must have a say in your family's treatment of her. And you say that the family will remain in touch with Gloria. Stefan needed fear any harm or dishonor from that. She belongs to another bloodline now. The Brants are safe from scandal. So be it. We'll stay in touch with Gloria. You're right. She's no threat to us anymore. Now take your glass, Brian. A toast to the future of the Brant family. You clink glasses. You note a hint of bitterness in the flavor of the mulled wine. Anyway, it's time to get down to business. I'll head to the Overseer's residence at once. You're so close to earning a hereditary title, brother. Grandfather would be so proud of us. With that, Stefan leaves you alone. Father has locked himself in his office to brood. Nathan has wandered off somewhere to get drunk. You roam the family home that feels emptier now. Lost in memories. You remember Gloria leading you by the hand through the yard and showing you the shining pillar for the first time. You remember playing together. You remember the time you and Stefan went looking for her in the Anazote ruins. You remember the quill and paper that were your sister's constant companions. The family remains in touch with the El Pelletiers and does its best to stay up to date on Gloria's married life. However, your sister rarely, if ever, leaves her husband's opulent estate. Her letters grow shorter and shorter. She writes about how her husband adores her and makes all her wishes come true. But she has fewer and fewer wishes every day. Huh. You beg Gloria to write poems for you, but she curtly responds that her inspiration is gone. Every day is too much like the last. The only thing that seems to bring her back to life is the odd visit from your family. But you must inevitably leave, and then Gloria goes back to spending days at a time in bed. Aw. Yeah, maybe she wasn't cut out for married life. Well, nothing to do about it now, I guess. Okay. Gloria got married! Gloria had become the wife of noble Sir L. Pelletier and left for his estates.